Welcome to Beyond the Inflection Point, the Vodcast where every episode we dive deep into the world of digital transformation with leading experts and business visionaries. Welcome to another exciting episode of Beyond the Inflection Point. I'm your host, Abby O'Donnell, and today we have a very special guest with us, Nishit Patel, the Vice President of Product Delivery at Rapidops. Nishit, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you for providing me the opportunity to be host on this show. I am definitely obliged to have my knowledge shared with the people, with the industry leaders, so they can, get the insights. And we can learn together. Definitely. That's the motto of this entire series of episodes.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you. Today, we're diving deep into the world of neural networks and their role in the ever-evolving landscape of digital transformation. So let's jump right in. Yeah, Nishit, many of our viewers may be new to the concept of neural networks and trend analysis as well. Could you start us off by explaining just in simple terms what neural networks are?
Definitely. So let me make sure, I'll be able to answer your question like what the neural networks are in terms of simplicity. Neural networks are nothing but they recognize the pattern within your data and they help you, derive to a certain conclusion, recognize the pattern, and they work similar to the human brain, how it works. Like in the human brain, if you had observed that there are a number of neurons which gets activated when you see something, when you smell something, when you want to classify something. Similar sort of, application has been developed using neural networks. So neural networks are nothing but artificial neurons, which gets activated based on the input of the data. It helps you in understanding and classification of the image, speech synthesis, voice analysis, and a lot more.
Yeah, that's very fascinating. So when we talk about neural networks in a business setting, why would you say it is so crucial for businesses to, stay attuned to changing trends and technologies and analytics, particularly neural networks? And how does that play a pivotal role in achieving that?
Right, definitely. So when it comes to, the changing trends, it is very much crucial for any business to stay up with the trends of their customers. The customer preferences and their priorities get changed and evolve over the time, and it is very much crucial for the business to know if there is a change in the trend, so you can act accordingly. Better provide pricing, you better do the marketing of your products and services, you tune your products and services so that it is in demand of the customer, right? So there is a very famous quote from Steve Jobs. He says the innovation is the difference which makes between a leader and a follower. And this itself is a very huge statement, right? So if you are not innovative, if you are not, knowing in the trend or knowing the pain area of your customer, you will stay out of the market, you will lose your market share, you will lose your revenue. So to stay ahead of the curve, analysis of trend is very much necessary. And with AI and technology, analysis of trend is being done by everyone. It's not a new science to, the organization. They were doing since the ages, right? But now the speed of analyzing and identifying that trend because of AI and the technology and the data, it is getting reduced. So previously it took, 3 to 4 years to identify, that the customer trend has changed. Their preferences are changed. But now with the amount of data, the amount of compute and the technology moving so fast, spotting those trends and changing the trend, it's getting, very time less consuming. And that's why the competition in making use of AI and ML for identifying the right set of preferences for your customers.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, not only is it one thing for businesses and business leaders, many people in our audience, to be able to keep up with those changing trends, but then it's another thing to apply that to technology or to help the network understand those trends better. So explain the role of things like data pre-processing and feature engineering, because these are both things that can kind of enhance or better help a neural network capture those changing trends. Explain to us a little bit about how that works in the role there.
Right, definitely. So if you heard about a very famous quote of machine learning or any AI ML, they say that, garbage in, garbage out. So if your data is dirty, definitely your results will always be going to be out of trajectory or dirty. It will not make sense, right? So to make the data very much in line with what you need for your models or machine learning algorithms to work, you need to carry out the data processing, data pre-processing. So data pre-processing is just not about gathering the data, but cleaning the data, making sure that right data, right amount of data is collected and in a right format. If these three conditions are met, definitely it will help model to recognize the pattern which is there in the data, as well as when you do trend analysis, it is very much necessary that you keep updating your data, because trend changes over the period of time. It's not static. For example, if you are classifying dog versus cat, it's a static data. Dog is not going to become lion. But again, when you are classifying your identifying the pattern in your retail or consumer segments of the client, right, it is going to change or evolve over the period of time. So your data gets changed. You need to keep doing the pre-processing part to make sure that your model understands or identify the pattern that are there hidden in the data. And so data pre-processing, I think it plays around 70% of your total AI ML pipeline. The critical role, it's of data pre-processing. So if your data pre-processing is wrong, no matter how super good you are at model building, how much compute you put, how much data you have it is not going to work, or not going to provide you the fruitful result that you are looking for.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You mentioned garbage in, garbage out, and if that data is bad or old, it can render those machine learning models ineffective. Are there any other challenges associated with neural networks when it comes to recognizing and adapting to trends that our audience should know about?
Yeah, definitely. So there are two types of networks available when it comes to AI ML. One is traditional conventional based machine learning and deep learning networks. Those are fixed networks. So when I say fixed networks, they have the fixed number of layers and fixed number of neurons which will act upon your data, right? But nowadays we are very initial stage of developing something which changes along with your data. So your network dimension gets changed based on the input of data it is receiving on the real time. And those are called liquid neural networks, which are very niche in the market. And Rapidops team is working. On the initial stage, we had found very superior result compared to the conventional traditional neural network, which are fixed in number of layers, neurons. So to update that network, you need to retrain every time, right? So for example, if you train your data 1 year before, right, now you need to retrain it on the latest data to make sure that you are capturing the trend. But with this liquid neural network, it keeps adjusting itself, the number of layers and neurons based on the data it sees or passes through that network. So that is where we had recently advanced in few of our customer projects, which are giving eye-opening or eye-catching results.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I was going to lead into that as well. That's a great segue. Here at Rapidops, I know that we are focused on helping our clients use things like machine learning models and neural networks in order to, stay innovative and, maintain a competitive edge. And so what has been, Rapidops' unique approach to effectively maintaining and adapting neural networks, or maybe even some real world examples of how we've helped clients?
Right. So whenever any new requirement comes up for with Rapidops, like the project comes up or new requirement from the client comes up, we not only just jump onto identifying whether it's a neural network, we require neural network. At first go, we need to identify what is the problem statement, right? Whether we require any artificial intelligence or machine learning or not, it's a second question, right? So first, at Rapidops, we have a practice to analyze the problem statement, whether the client have sufficient data, because this is my quote basically. In data science, the value lies in data, not in the science. Science is freely available. There are a lot of novels and books available, but nobody is there to give you your own data, right? So if there is no data with the client, no machine learning algorithm or no science is going to help you, right? So our process starts at the very beginning, like identifying the right data, right set of features that are required to solve the problem at hand. Once that is done, then we jump into the data pre-processing part, as I said, which is very crucial. It takes around 70% of your entire project effort to identify the right data and pre-process it so that we can build a better model on top of that. And once it is done, then we build the model, we deploy it on the production, right? And as I said, right now we are into a very early stage of research where we are using these liquid neural networks as compared to the traditional machine learning neural networks, right, which are fixed in size and capacity. This is where the next focus of Rapidops is, where we can change the neural network or update the neural network weights based on the data they see on the fly. So they can capture the trends or pattern change within the data ahead of the time and act accordingly to stay on top of the curve.
Yeah, that's really comprehensive. Thank you so much. I think the last question I wanted to ask you, kind of a freebie question here. Is there any advice that you would give to our audience, someone listening who maybe is looking to more efficiently monitor, adapt, or maintain neural networks in a project or in a practical application that they may be working on?
Right, definitely. So, when it comes to neural network and when you are in the production, it is very much necessary to look at the data drift, right? Sometimes it happens your data is so old that it doesn't make any sense. What is there, what your model is trained on, right? So it is very much continuous effort needs to be made on the infrastructure side to update your data, right? To retrain your model, to check the accuracy or improvement within the model. And the most important critical part, which I believe most of the system are missing, is taking the client feedback. So you put the model in the real world, your application is delivering something, but you never ask your customer whether they are helpful or to you or not. You just keep it there, right? So closing that loop or client feedback is the most important, be it any project, AI, ML or machine learning, but that is the critical part for the success of any AI, ML machine learning project.
I love that. Closing the client feedback loop. That's great. Well, thank you, Pete,
Yep.
for sharing your expertise and insights with us on neural networks and their importance in the technology landscape today. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Same here. It's pleasure for me too. And thank you for providing me the opportunity.
Of course. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us on another episode. Stay tuned for more episodes of Beyond the Inflection Point, where we continue to explore the latest in technology, AI, analytics, and innovation. See you next time.